Top story this week. Let's. I think it's clear where we have to start this week. So we're going to start with some jokes this week, some classic setup punchline jokes. Here we go. What do you get if you cross an oppressive theocracy moving towards nuclear capability with a war criminal megalomaniac trying to distract attention away from one horrendous military campaign by starting another? I don't know, but we're currently finding out. It needs work. Let's try another one. Why are news reports on the Israel-Iran conflict like the abstract expressionist artist Mark Rothko? Because they paint a very gloomy picture. Boom. Doctor, I get this strange pulsating ache in my head and a knot of anxiety in my stomach whenever I watch the news. That's because it's 2025, you dickhead. Almost, there's a couple more. Why did the Israeli and the Iranian both buy a CD of songs by the 19th century composer Franz Schubert? Because they both wanted better leaders. Leader, as in the German word for song, is already plural, but the joke just about stands. And finally, what did the polar bear say to the penguin? We're all funny because it's true. So sometimes you just have to, find jokes amidst the tragedy. Tom,
Tish is the sound of bombs being dropped across the Middle East.
I know neither of you are huge fans of exchanges of military fire between heavily armed nations in a tinderbox region. Me neither. I prefer sport. What have you made of the last few days, which I've been doing my absolute best to ignore?
We can look at the Pentagon pizza report. I guess that's a bit of a slightly more light-hearted take. That apparently any establishment slinging dough within 3 miles of the Pentagon on Thursday night saw a sudden spike in footfall. And as of 6:59 p.m. ET Eastern Time, nearly all pizza establishments near Pentagon have experienced huge surge in activity. 10 minutes later, a significant drop in footfall. It was as if there was a gap between meetings, which had prompted a flurry of takeaway and delivery orders, which then tailed off again as work resumed. Now, this is men's equivalent of horoscopes. I mean, I could pretend that it's women playing war games, but let's be honest. This is men's equivalent of Mercury being in retrograde, but instead it's footfall in dominoes. What else are we tracking? A drop in chili sauce, because military strikes do tend to give you a bit of heartburn. Apparently, Wolf Blitzer was the original astrologist, because he said, I always knew there was some sort of crisis going on in the West Wing after hours when I saw the arrival of pizzas. Bottom line for journalists, always monitor the pizzas. So Wolf Blitzer was there. He was the Mystic Meg of deep dish.
Right. I mean, I think a Wolf Blitzer is a type of pizza you can get with wolf meat and mashed vegetables, I think.
Is it? It's wolf meat, and the Blitzer is just like mayonnaise liberally spritzed across the top of it.
I think it makes sense. If you ask me, any good pizza party needs 3 things. You need lots of pizza, fizzy drink, and the covert execution of a large-scale missile strike to protect the imperial aspirations of the military-industrial complex. Okay? That's why whenever I'm hosting pizza night, I always invite my best friends, Jimmy, Peter, and Lockheed Martin. They're the ones you get. But it's not just the pizza, apparently. Like, it's not just if pizza places around the Pentagon are busy, shit's going down. Come 10 p.m., Freddy's Beach Bar in D.C., the closest gay bar to the Pentagon, had abnormally low traffic for a Thursday night, potentially indicating a busy night at the Pentagon. All the military-industrial gays were too busy helping Israel to head to the clubs. Instead of doing drag, they were doing drones. They weren't getting messy, they were firing missiles. They weren't voguing, they were bombing. They weren't slaying, they were slaying. And they weren't doing AML, they were participating in a military action that made humanity clench its butthole extremely tightly. That's what I got.
Right. So, I mean, it's quite an interesting...
The opposite of poppers. The op of pop.
A military popperation, indeed. So, I mean, it's interesting. This does seem to be scientific proof that the Pentagon gets gayer or less gay as war approaches. I can't work out how to read the graph. I mean, have you...
What's more fabulous?
I mean, Tom, you obviously are Bugle's official correspondent on the global impacts of homosexuals contravening God's holy laws, bringing about natural and man-made catastrophes. So, I mean, are you feeling guilty about this at all, or?
Yeah, it's my fault. That makes sense. Although, if I've taken some of the heat, you're taking some too, Andy Zaltzman. God damn it. Don't you walk away from this, sir. And Tiff, you're Iranian, right? I think you've got some blood on your hands as well.
The pizza story is, I mean, it doesn't paint the Pentagon in a particularly good light if they're that unsubtle. That despite having had this monitored for a long time, that they haven't worked out an alternative. I guess they have to. The problem is now, because people monitor the number of pizzas going in and out, in generally to the Pentagon, that they have to order exactly the same number of pizzas at exactly the same time of day every day, or everyone will assume something big is about to go down. Or they need a secret underground food farm and restaurant complex so that no one can tell when something fishy is afoot, even if there is an unusually large delivery of fish, which is often the precursor to something fishy happening in the Pentagon. They're very unsubtle about these things. It's not clear exactly what was in these pizza orders, but I think we all assume it included garlic bread, dough balls, coleslaw, corn, and a salad. It was going to the Pentagon. There are always going to be 5 sides. Thank you. I'm still here.
Actually, that's given me an instant headache.
But
that's not cool. Not now. Haven't the world suffered enough, Andy? Please.
It's my
the world is hurting right now.
It's my only way of dealing with it, Tom. I don't know what interpreting the toppings of the pizzas. Apparently, in when Operation Desert Fox in the late 90s, a major bombing campaign against Iraq was underway. The White House, this is according to the Washington Post, the White House ordered 32% more extra cheese pizzas than normal. I mean, I sometimes think when I'm sitting doing my cricket stats that my job is completely irrelevant in the grand scheme of things. But there are people checking the number of extra cheese pizzas being ordered in the late 90s by the White House. I think I can sleep happily with myself at night.
Here you go. I believe they ordered a side of moose as well. It was all part of Operation Desert Storm.
Now you're doing it as well.
I know, I'm sorry. He's influenced me.
I feel so alone.
So, I mean, in terms of what was ordered, if there's lots of mushrooms on a pizza, you just assume nuclear war is imminent. Just to give the sort of cloud recognition skills. Lots of rucola or rocket everywhere. That's not good. Pepperoni signals that things are about to get spicy. Any pineapple, that's just obviously the sign of the end of times. It's an absolute abomination, whatever. And loads of olives, that's more optimistic. A peace deal, because obviously they needed a branch so they took the olives off and put them on a pizza. But anyway, time will tell. I mean, in terms of the conflict itself, it's still a bit early to calculate exactly the level of Armageddonry that will emerge from it. And there's always positives and negatives. I mean, on the minus side, the people involved. If you heard about a picnic in the park involving Benjamin Netanyahu, aka Bibi, due to the sound of honking car horns because he's always in the way on the road to peace, and Ayatollah Khamenei, the self-styled Sabrina Carpenter of hardline theocracy, with Donald Trump wading in with suggestions for the food, you'd probably not only steer clear of the picnic, but you'd probably try to leave the continent or hemisphere or planet that you're on at the time. So a military conflagration involving the three of them, well, that's enough to put you off the metaphorical sandwiches that you hastily wolfed down before leaving that hypothetical picnic. Tom, any shards of optimistic lights for humanity that you can see in this situation?
And Andy, honestly, I've been delighted with this news. I'm 36 now. I'm getting quite nostalgic. And I've been going through that a lot lately. And now here we are. A Western-aligned country has launched a preemptive strike on a country whose name begins with the letters IRA after making spurious claims about its ability to produce weapons of mass destruction. Holy shit. Crank up the Outcast. Watch me slip into some low-rise jeans and a crop top, Andy, because 2003 is back, baby. Shake it. Shake it. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. We've learned nothing.
Yep.
What's up?
Yes, very well done. Seriously, preemptive strike is a real blast from the past. Well, blast from Israel. And this is the idea that if I think you're going to attack me, I'm justified in attacking you before you get around to it. You see, it's peace through strength. It's defense through attack. I'm de-escalating by shooting missiles at you. Do you see? And if you don't see that, shut up. I know you are. You said you are, but what am I? Of course, some snowflake peacenik cucks out there will argue that probably the number one way to guarantee that Iran will attack you is by attacking Iran. But real preemptive strike heads will know that just because your preemptive strike provokes a retaliatory attack of a similar nature to the kind of attack you were trying to preempt, that does not invalidate the preemptive strike. It simply proves just how necessary the preemptive strike was in the first place. This is what's known as the preemptive strike grandfather paradox, and comes from the school of international diplomatic thought known simply as stop hitting yourself.
I can't keep hearing preemptive strike without thinking that is sexual in nature.
It's like premature, I see.
Yeah,
Premature strike?
Preemptive
Okay.
is a preemptive jizz.
Guys, I've just been on the National Library of Medicine on the cheese point, which states that there's growing evidence linking ultra-processed foods, including processed cheeses, to various neuropsychiatric outcomes and antisocial and aggressive behaviour. So I think actually maybe those extra pizzas that they're getting in might be the root cause of all this chaos.
Oh, right. So
Everyone's having a cheese fever.
Yeah.
I mean,
Cheese dreams.
so basically what you're saying, Chris, is if they only use pure, unadulterated buffalo mozzarella, then things will be fine.
Yes, that's the peace plan.
I'm right with you. I've tried it out in my life, and it works very, very well indeed.